Are you in the market for an ice machine that makes that nice nugget ice that everyone loves? Well, this video might be for you. Welcome back to another Jeff Reviews for you. And as you can see, we are looking at a Nugget Ice Machine. This one retails right around $370. You know what though? Enough talk. Let's get right into this review. First thing we do to unbox this is we cut off the straps that go all the way around the box. And then we just lift the box off because that bottom part was actually held on by those straps. It just makes for a really easy unboxing. From there, you just want to remove the packaging, just getting everything out. I did pull the directions off already. And so now we're just going to rip off all of these packaging. Once unboxed, we want to leave setting up for at least 2 hours. Now, you might have already had that prior to being unboxed, but before you use it first, you should leave it just set. It lets all the fluids inside just stabilize. Although this ice maker is intended to be used inside, I thought it would be fun to become the envy of the campsite, and I'm going to set mine up right here outside of the camper. I should say that the dimensions of this unit are 9 inches across, just about 17 inches tall, and 17 inches deep. I have 2 other ice machines, but this one by far is the nicest looking one I have. I'm very impressed in how they designed this. Doesn't that look sweet? The directions do tell us that you should have a 6-inch gap all the way around the unit. That's the front, the back, the side, and the top, just to make sure it has enough airflow. It's pretty simplistic as far as the operation. There's an on-off button and there's a clean button. We are going to go through the directions before we make our first set of ice, but that's cool. There's not a whole lot to this. It's really just on and off. If we take a look at the drawer, you can see how that just folds down. Your ice is actually going to be stored in this hopper. Our directions tell us to make sure this is completely washed before first use, so I'm going to do that. You can see included in here is your 10 feet of water line. This is if you're going to do a direct connect. You don't have to do a direct connect, but you have that option. We are going to end up just filling this up through the front here. We'll show you that in just a second. Also, there's a scooper down in here as well. Take all these things out and thoroughly clean them. On the back of the unit, of course, we have our power plug. It's about 6 feet long. This is a cool little upgrade. Typically, ice machines have 2 drain tubes. They've upgraded theirs to only require 1. I do appreciate that. Less areas to clean. Down here at the bottom, of course, that's where we're going to hook in our water line if we want to direct connect this to an existing water line at your house. The directions tell us to clean this twice before first use. It would have been nice if they sent some cleaning solution, but they did not, and I don't have any with me, but I do have some vinegar. So what I'm going to do is a 10-to-1 mixture of vinegar and water, so 10 parts water, 1 part vinegar, just to do like a cleaning cycle. It's also good for descaling. I'll let you know how much water to vinegar that I had to actually put in here. I am going to fill it up to the max fill line. I was able to get 68 ounces of water in there. We're just below the max fill line. So if you take 68 times 10% of that, would be 6.8 ounces of vinegar. That's our combination for this cleaning cycle. I'm going to let this run completely through the cleaning cycle. Our solution's in. What we're going to do now is we're going to push and hold the cleaning cycle button for 3 seconds. That should click on. All right, I see this light has lit up for the cleaning cycle. This is supposed to take about 5 minutes. Take a close look at the cleaning cycle. All it's doing is running water through all the tubing, just making sure it cleans everything out from the factory. When we want to drain, we can either take this piece out just like that or pop the tube out, either one. Just don't lose this piece. And realistically, you just drop the tube down and let it flow. As we're draining, I wanted to talk about a couple other things. One, anytime I'm done with the ice machine, I'm going to put it away. I always make sure I descale it and completely drain it. I'll actually leave this sitting out for an hour or so because I want to make sure those lines are completely drained. Now that the cleaning cycle is finished, we want to add just fresh water, run it through that cleaning cycle one more time because we want to rinse out everything because no one wants their ice tasting like vinegar or chemicals. We are cleaned and rinsed out. I'm going to add some water. The cool thing is you can add it right here from the front. I think that is so cool and convenient. So let's add that to our max fill line. We're going to close up our door. With the door closed now, we're just going to hit the on button. What we should see is a snowflake lighting up. Let's see. Button doesn't want to get pushed. There it goes. All right, we hit the on button. Now we are in the ice making process. The directions tell us it takes between 15 and 30 minutes for the first set of ice to form. So we're going to check back in after we start getting some ice. It's right at 15 minutes and we did hear some ice drops. Let's take a look at what it looks like. Oh, check that out. It's a little watery, but that's to be expected at the beginning. But check out that. We have our nugget ice forming. I am super excited. Let's put this back in and let's continue making ice. Our Nugget Ice Machine's been working hard for the past 4 hours. Let's take a look. The hopper is just about half full, and let's take a closer look at that nugget ice. Doesn't that look good, nice and frozen? I will say there is some water still left in the machine, so I know it's still working, but this thing is doing a great job. This does have a temperature rating not to exceed 90 degrees of the current air temperature. Right now it's about 95 and it is cruising along, although I'll typically be using this inside. Outside it's really, really hot and it's been in the sun and it's still doing a great job. So tell me, what are your thoughts of this Nugget Ice Machine? Something you're looking into? Let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. During this video so far, we put this to the test outside, which was really too hot, but now we're bringing it inside for the remainder of this test. I've been using this ice machine for the past few weeks, and now I want to give you some of my experiences. Some ice machines allow you to customize the size of your ice. This one does just one size. It's pretty much uniform. I've seen them right around a ½ an inch tall. Guess what though? They are super crunchy and I love it. After a few hours of making ice, you're gonna see this symbol pop up. That means the hopper is completely full. Check out that ice bin. It made about 10 cups of ice, and that is actually the full mark. So once you start taking this ice out, you put it back in, add some more water, this thing will keep on going. Let's talk a little bit about the ice bin. Now, this thing is not refrigerated like you would expect a refrigerator or freezer, so this ice will melt over time. Of course, the most recently made ice will be the crispiest and the crunchiest. It starts to melt as it gets down through here towards the bottom. The idea is this will melt, and once it melts, it'll drain through the slots in the back of this bin, go through the whole system again, and then create fresh ice. So you're realistically always cycling through making fresh ice with this machine, but this does not keep it cold all the time. As you're using the machine for an extended period of time, you're gonna come across this blinking light right here. And all that blinking light means is, well, you're out of water, okay? So it can no longer make ice. So what you're supposed to do now is just add water to let it keep going. That being said, if you have this on the direct line where it's always connected to a water line, you'll never see this. I was reading through some of the comments online, and some people said that after a couple weeks, it started making this horrible noise, and I was waiting for it, and guess what? Now I can hear it. Take a listen. This realistically does not happen a whole lot, at least in my experience. And what I think it's just this top cabinet piece maybe is a little too loose. Watch. See, I just put a little tiny pressure on there and it automatically went away. So you know what? Put something on top and you're not going to hear that noise anymore. Although I'm not actually going to hardline mine into the water line, I want to show you how to actually set it up. So there is a plug in here and you have to push in this gray piece right underneath the plug. And so what that does is allow you to actually release the plug. That's important because when you install your tube, that has to be gone. Like I said before, you have 10 feet of tubing. This is a 1/4 inch tube, so you're going to need to get a shutoff that has a 1/4 inch attachment. I can link one down in the description below. Once you've taken the plug out, you want to make sure to insert your tube in all the way. So push it all the way in tight. I'm gonna make a little mark on here just so you can see how far you go into the actual connection. Just like how we release the plug, you want to push the gray part in to release the tube. Let's get a closer look to see how deep it went in. Actually, it's pretty far. That's 3/4 of an inch. So make sure when you install yours, you put it in far enough so then you can prevent leaks. Then you just connect it to your water line and that is it. You have a direct line. Now, I didn't actually have the ability to do that with my setup, but I wanted to make sure you at least knew how to do it. In this video, we're taking a look at a Nugget Ice Machine. So what do we think of it? First things first, let's talk about that price point. It was right around $370, and as far as ice machines, that is on the higher end. I will say I do appreciate the look and everything they've crammed into this, that front door and the drawer that holds the ice. It really is a pretty decent machine. My experience utilizing the buttons was kind of frustrating. Sometimes they would work on the first try, sometimes it would take me maybe 30 seconds to get them to work. I'm not sure why the responsiveness was off at times, but when it's on, it really makes some good ice. It's important to know that this has a relatively large profile, so when you're thinking about putting this into your kitchen, it's important to put it in a place where it has enough room to breathe. Your cabinet should be high enough, and of course, you should have it away from the wall at least 6 inches. The directions tell us that it's important to clean this every 2 weeks, and although that can be cumbersome, it's important to do that with these types of machines so they stay working longer. Anyway, that was my full review of this Nugget Ice Machine. If this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day.